and welcome to A Scott. Good morning and welcome. Good morning and welcome to A Scott Talk, a Fui show. I'm joined by the beautiful, the gorgeous, the Royal Empress. She goes by the name of Yvonne Michelle.
Hey guys, how are you this morning?
Brilliant. How are you, my darling?
I'm wonderful. I am really good. The sun is shining and everything is good. And this show is just amazing. So, everything is good. We give God thanks.
Brilliant. So we're going to get straight into it today. So this is part 3 of a 3-part MediaNet TV special, which we've been doing all about love languages. And I've just started up a Facebook, Instagram live. So everybody that's just logged in on Insta, if you want to go to MediaNet TV on YouTube, you can join in and interact with myself and my special guest. Also, you can go onto the Facebook page, which is MediaNet TV. If you go to their Facebook page now, we're streaming live on YouTube and we're streaming live on Facebook. So all week we've been discussing love languages, and what love language is, for those that have just joined us, is the language of love. So as you know, we can feel attracted to somebody, and we can have chemistry romantically, but do we communicate in the same language when it comes to love? So my special guest has narrowed down the love languages to 6 principles, and all week we've been discussing them. So over to you. We covered the first 3 principles in show 1. Yesterday we started to drill down a little bit and dissect how we communicate the language of love, and today we're going to pick it up from, we've got 3 more to get through. I know you finished yesterday's show by telling us point number 4 is quality time, so I'm really excited to get into that one. But before we start talking about quality time, just for those that have just joined us, just tell us what the first 3 are, and then we'll just get straight into it, sis.
Okay, so this is juicy stuff, guys. Juicy stuff. You want your relationship to work, these are the things that you need to know about. So going back to what we've already covered. So first of all, the first one is words of affirmation. That is where you build the person up. That's the love language that you love to receive. Being built up, or the person's giving you words of affirmation. Number 2 is gifts. You may be a person that likes to receive gifts. It doesn't mean you're materialistic. It doesn't mean that you're just money grabbing and you just want people to buy you. But it means that when somebody buys you something, that's the way that you perceive that they love you. They show you, they buy you little trinkets. When they see, even if it's a chocolate bar, they know that you like it. They'll buy it and say, babes, I saw this. I bought it for you. And then that makes you feel like this person is really invested in me. Right, so the third one was acts of service. Now, acts of service is that person who will do for you, is the showing, the action, show me that you love me. Don't tell me, show me. That's the acts of service. So that's a person who would like a person to say, for instance, they've just come home from work. When they come home from work, the dinner's cooked and ready. The place has been tidied. That's what acts of service is, and that's how you want the person to show you how much they care about you, because they want to help you. So those are the first 3. So words of affirmation, gifts, and acts of service. Number 4, the big one, I think the big one, is quality time. Now, what does that look like? Let me just get this right. It means that you are giving, you like undivided attention. You like the person to be into you, to invest their time to be with you alone, where you make plans to do things together. You know, this is your language of love. This is what you want. Someone that's going to give you their undivided attention, is going to spend time with you, is going to love on you, and that's how you perceive that that person loves you. So for instance, you know, you let me bring it to a client. A client has come to me before and said, my partner doesn't spend any time with me, doesn't spend any time doing things with me. So we're asking questions. So what does that look like for you? Does your partner live with you? Yes. Is he there in the evenings? Yes. When he's at home, he's like on his own like little game thing. Or he's doing something else. He's in the house, but he's not with her. Now, to some people, that would be like, well, he's in the house. He's not out. He's not gallivanting. He's in the house. He's there with you. But to her, his attention is not on her. He's mindful of other things. It's not about her. So she doesn't feel valued because he doesn't have time for her. Now, let me just say this before I go any further. I may use examples and say rather she from the woman's point of view. And I want to just clear this up. It's not that I don't have think about things from the male point of view, but from what I do is I work predominantly, excuse me, I work predominantly with women. And so I can tell you story upon story upon story from a woman's point of view, because that's my experience. I have experiences of men, but it's more to do with women. So it's not an infringement against men. I just want to really clear that up. It's just that I work a lot with women, and these are the issues that they talk about. And so your quality time, it means that it's your undivided attention. You spend time, you do things together, you make plans together. And this is I think this is a big issue, because there are many complaints that I come across where it's like the person doesn't have time for the other person, and time is a real factor. So I don't know, how are you on the quality time, Ace? How have you been? Because you've been really open and honest about how you interacted in your past relationships. So and you were like yesterday, was like, I failed on 2 out of 3. So how was quality time for you?
Well, it's very interesting you say that, sister, because my phone never stopped ringing yesterday from women saying, brilliant show. And we touched on so much depth, so we covered so much in terms of the language and communication. And it's funny because one of my friends, she called me last night and she said, Ace, what's your love language? And I said, good question. I said to her, I'm not going to answer that till after today's show, because we haven't gone through all 6. And I think I do myself an injustice to answer that question at this stage.
Right.
But then I sat down and I contemplated, and I already knew what my answer was, regardless of whatever else I hear coming from this conversation. So I'm going to put it out here early. And I messaged her last night and I said, number 4. And we haven't even really discussed it yet. But I said to her, if you want, Ace's love language is quality time. I don't, like I said, I don't like gifts. I'm not a gifty person. So I don't like gifts. I'm not, yes, acts of service is good, me like a little massage every now and then still, a little meal cook for me, but I'm an independent man. And one of the things that a lot of the women that I have been in relationships have been attracted to me for is the fact that I love the fact that you're independent. You're a man, you cook your own food, you iron your own clothes, you're the man of your own house. So I've always been independent, So, but for me, if I'm in a relationship, it's all about quality time. It's about the time we spend together, just doing what we do best. And I want to throw a few things out there on quality time. Me personally, quality time, and this is deep. Shout out to my ex. Shout out to my ex. Right? This is deep, because quality time doesn't necessarily mean you got to be going out on dates. You got
No.
to be spending lots of money. And I say that because what she used to say to me is, Ace, the best nights we have ever is with a Friday night when we're just at home with a takeaway watching a movie. That to her was the best nights ever. Just at home, chilling, wrap up sofa, little takeaway, little two popcorn, and we just cuddle up. That was her. That was quality time for her. Then I reflect on other female relationships I've had, and I know another female who she's very into nature and stuff like that. And for her, she loves nothing more than just going for like long walks out in like the park or nice green areas, landscape. So, and that just that time together, being in each other, not on your phone or that to me is very important. So I definitely agree with you that for me, my love language, quality, is Ace for Ace, it's all about quality time. But I also want to just pick up on one more point you made there about being in the same house. And just because you're in the same house with someone doesn't mean you are spending quality time. Sometimes, and you know what it's like when you live with somebody, because I've been there as well, you get so complacent with that person. And because you are in the routine of life, getting up, going to work, taking the kids to school, doing all of those, monotonous tasks that if you're in that kind of family setup, you kind of forget about each other because you're so busy. You got to go to work. He's got to, and when you are in the house, sometimes you're tired, you're stressed. You just want your little your space. You can feel like this person's always in my face. So you can forget and to appreciate each other. So I think it's about being mindful of that. And I would say to anybody that is in a marriage, who has spending long periods of time together monotonously, to take time out for yourself, where it's just you time, you and the kids. Does that no? Sorry, not you and the kids, just you without the kids.
That's right. Yeah.
Time. So it might be once again like a Friday night where you say, "Why? It's date night." We're gonna send the kids off to the parents, and we're gonna run around the house like teenagers again. So I think quality time for me is the language that I scream personally. It's the loudest one for me. That speaks volumes. All the other stuff don't matter if the quality time is not there, because that is where the souls unite as one.
Yeah, I like that. The souls unite as well. I like that. See, as you're saying, that quality time, the thing is, when you're in a relationship, you want quality from your partner. Bottom line. And if your partner is not spending or not investing the time in you, then a lot of people are like, well, what is the point? I'm like I said, I gave the example of being in the same home, and you brought something up actually about a date night. So just hold that thought. So you're in the house all together. You live in the house. You see each other day in, day out, and like you said, you become complacent about your partner. And so, one is upstairs, one is downstairs, one is in the garden, one is in the sitting room, one is in the kitchen, one is in the bathroom. You're never really spending the quality, the wholeness of the relationship to actually just feel each other's presence, feel each other's energy, feel each other's, passion. And so that's where the disconnect comes. And so Ace, you're saying that you are a person, quality time is your love language. So if the person's not spending quality time with you, then it just pulls in all manner of thoughts. Does this person like me? Is this person into me? Because they're not spending any time with me. How many of us have been in relationships and have had that thought in our minds? This person's not spending no time. Or you might not even be living together. It might be like you're on the phone. It's like, hi, Babs, when am I going to see you? Right? And I've got this to do. And you might see me for an hour on Sunday and you're like thinking, well, what? I've got to wait all these days just to see you, to spend time with you. See, so guys, those of the men who are listening, if you're late, I hope you're listening. And females, I hope you're listening. If you live a busy life And a lot of us do. We're from pillar to post on the run all the time. If your partner's asking you, when am I going to see you? There is a key. Listen to what they're asking you. When am I going to see you? They're telling you, this is my love language. I need to see you. I need to connect with you. So listen carefully. You know, it's easier to talk than it is to listen. And most of us do a lot of talking and don't listen. And when we are supposed to be listening, we're thinking of a response to come back to talk again. So we're not really listening. And this is the issues of why we're not hearing the love language between each other. Just to the point on date night, right? You see that thing there, date night. Date night has helped so many couples. Because when my parents were together and when I was growing up, there was no such thing as date night. You ask an older person, yeah, the seniors about date night, they'll tell you, wait, we are talking about date night. We're not on a date night. We just have a night. That's it.
Yeah.
But do you get me? So
Yeah.
now we have this thing, date night. So we can take the children to their grandparents or their godparents or their auntie and uncle. And like you said, you can get in the house now and just go buck quiet. And it's you and your partner. And it's back to the days of when you were courting, back to the days where you were free and you were single. And if you wanted to just take everything off and run with no brassiere with your partner, you could do that. Do you get me? And so the connection becomes more intimate. It becomes more compelling. It becomes more sensual. And that's what we all want.
Definitely. I just want to make 2 points off the back of that. And I'm going to make reference to 2 previous relationships. A couple of things I just want to say. Once again, for those on the Instagram, I put up the Instagram live feed just so you guys on the Insta could see what was going on so you don't miss out. We're streaming live on MediaNet Live TV on Facebook. We're also streaming live on MediaNet Live TV on YouTube. So if you go over to YouTube now, type in MediaNet Live TV, you can join in the conversation. I just want to shout out to all the ladies logged on that's putting your comments in the box. Keep them coming. Shout out to Belinda. Salute. Big up yourself. We're going to get through some of the comments in a little while, so keep the comments coming in, ladies. But just going back to quality time. And
gentlemen, we got one from James Best as well. There's a gentleman here.
Yeah.
So big up Mr. Gentleman. Yes.
Sorry, the sister don't want to leave out the man them, yeah? So shout out to the ladies and the gentlemen logged on. Keep your comments coming in and we're going to read those out. And if anybody wants to ask us any questions about love language, we're here to answer those as well. I also just want to point out there, for those that are joining us for the first time, this young lady today, she's my guest. But as of next week, she's going to be my co-host. So we're going to be starting up we haven't named it yet, but we're going to be starting up a relationship show, and we're going to be coming once a week, not from the comfort of our studios, but from the comfort of MediaNet Live TV. Shout out to MediaNet TV, shout out to the producers, shout out to the managers, everybody that's making this dream a reality. But we're going to be doing a live interactive relationship show, and we're going to cover everything from sex toys to bondage, to threesomes, to swingers parties. We're going to discuss it. Have you been to a swingers party? We're going to talk about these things, swinging. There's a lot going on out there. So we're going to create a platform. We've created a platform where we can have these mature conversations, and just to facilitate open dialogue, because these are conversations we don't have, in this arena. But back to today, Ace Got Talk and the Right Empress Yvonne Michelle. So quality time, 2 points I want to pick up, and I'm just reflecting on a previous relationship I had where, like I said, I'm big on quality time. And I want to reflect on something you said in our on part 1, Yvonne. You made it very clear to the guys out there. You said, guys, when it comes to dealing with a female, you have to understand that every woman's different, and you can't go into a relationship with the same expectations you had with one woman and bring those same expectations into love, because they're completely different. And I think that is clear to point out, because I think sometimes we get into the mindset of one size fits all. And if we all want the same things, then we must all act and be the same. Like most people all want a house, nice house. Everyone want a nice house. Everyone want a nice car. Everyone wants to be earning good money. So once again, we think, well, we're attracted to each other, and we both want a nice house, we both want money, we both want a nice job. So we must be speaking the same language. But the love language is not necessarily the same. And I'll give you an example: quality time. I told you that me and my ex broke up, and I've also informed you that there was nothing major happened. There wasn't a big incident that took place that caused us to split. It's just that we were speaking the wrong language to each other for a period of time, and that continued to go until it kind of brought the relationship to a breaking point. And it's funny because I've identified that my love language is quality time. And one of the things she used to feel is that the pressure was on her because I wanted to spend too much time with her.
Wow. Okay.
Do the maths.
Okay.
She used to say, I feel pressured. Like, because you always want me to spend time with you. Now, had she understood that that was my love language, she would have interpreted me wanting to spend time with her differently. She wouldn't have interpreted it as pressure. She would have interpreted it as that's the way he communicates his affection.
Yeah.
And remember in yesterday's conversation, I made reference to the fact that she was very she was very gifty. She liked to give, but I didn't like gifts. So here you've got somebody whose love language is, I like to spend quality time with the other. That's my love language. And then her love language is she was very giving, very gifted, very giving. That was her love language. So we both were attracted to each other, but we communicated our affection in completely different ways.
Yeah. Absolutely. So such a good example, such a good classic example. You like to be there, you like the time, and she likes to give. So what you see, and the thing is, now that you identify with the language, you're more acceptant of how that person is. Do you see what I'm saying? Because the first thing in everything capacity of your life, when we're going through difficult times, when we're going through good times, whatever it is, the main thing that we need to do as individuals is accept whatever is around us. What is going on around? Can we accept that? Once we accept the situation or accept ourselves for who we are, accept the person for the way that they love us, accept ourselves for the way that we love, then we can begin to formulate this relationship and make it work. Because your love languages can be, if your love languages are different, it doesn't mean to say that you won't get on. It's got nothing to do with it. It's identifying what the language is, and then looking at it, accepting that person for who they are and how they love. Right? And so once you both have that understanding on each side, then you can understand that, because with quality time, like you said, sometimes it can be perceived as being needy. Let me just say that again. Quality time can sometimes be perceived as the person being needy, but it's not necessarily that they're needy. It's just the fact that they want to spend time. So you have to accept them for who they are and how they love. That makes sense.
And I'm glad you made that point right at the end there, because that is how I have been made to feel in the past. And I think I'm not a needy person because I'm not an insecure guy. I'm never a guy that will be going through your phone. You know that. I'm not one of them guys that will call you and say, where are you? Or who you with? I'm not a jealous guy because I'm so secure in myself that I don't feel that I'm not insecure if my females around other guys. I'm a secure guy like that. So I'm not insecure, but you can be made to feel needy. And at times in the past, I felt needy in a relationship. I'm not a needy person. I just want to spend time. You're my baby. I just want, and it got to that. And I know she felt like, why is he so needy? I can't give you what you want. He always wants me to spend time. I feel pressure. But I'm a baby. I suddenly love you. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that point at the end, I think just nailed it. Clean neediness. I want to read out one or two comments on the coming through the live comments. So shout out to Belinda, who says, good morning, Yvonne and Ace. Literally just watched your previous 2 shows and I'm hooked. Yeah, so thank you very much for that one. Also, Belinda says, big up yourselves, so needed and outside of these times. Right? Do you know what the comment that I read after that just literally brought tears into my eyes, right? It's Miss MIB 22. And I read it once and I thought, what? And then I read the comment again, and then I got what she meant, and it just brought tears into my eyes because I could imagine it. She goes, my hubby and I have quality time on a drive, getting a takeaway, park up and eat it. So I think what she said, she said on my drive, I think what they do is they buy a little takeaway and then they drive home and then park up on their driveway and then they're sitting in the car, just watching their food and holding their little vibe, maybe before they go in the house and the kids start, mommy, daddy, but I like that, it's not, once again, quality time it doesn't have to be the big grand gestures. It doesn't have to be over romantic. It doesn't even have to be a financial burden. Sometimes it's the little thing, and it boils down to the two words at the end of the day: quality and time. And that is just spending quality time with somebody. You can spend time with somebody, but it's not necessarily quality time. We're in the same environment, but I'm staring at the TV and you're WhatsApping your girlfriends. I could spend 6 hours with you like that. That's not quality time. Or I could spend half hour, 40 minutes in the car with my hubby or my wifey, having a little takeaway and reasoning. That 45 minutes of just you time is so important.
Absolutely. It is. It's how the relationship thrives. And that's what we want. We want our relationships to thrive. We want it to have longevity. That many people, like, from hand to hand, like a bad penny, as they say, right? We don't want that. We don't want to be with this relationship, that. We want to find somebody that's our equal, our partner, the person that accepts us for who we are and that we can accept them for who they are, and then have that quality of time, that pocket. Sometimes that's what I like to call it, a pocket of time just for me and you. That's ours, that we share, and then we have those memories. Do you remember that time when we did this? Do you remember that time? And it could it doesn't even have to be an hour. It could be half an hour. Babes, let's just spend that time and you're just talking, reasoning together. And it's beautiful what you're making because it's your quality time. So I like the thought, I in my head, my imagination is that they might have a lot of kids or whatever, or young children at home, and they're just in the car and they're just jamming. And that, to me, it's just nice. You got your little takeaway, you sit down and you're just jamming and talking in the car. That's nice. So kudos to you guys. However you're having your quality time, as long as you're having it, that's what counts.
Definitely. And I just want to throw one little more point in there about quality time. And as I said, it's always about evolving. Scott talk, I'm an open book. I wear my heart on my sleeve. And the more honest you are with yourself, is the more you allow yourself to grow. So it's always about just looking at yourself in reflection. In fact, it goes, I didn't mean to, but it goes to a quote I've got on my wall right behind me here. You can see it. Ace, here it is. It says, you got to be better today than you was yesterday. I read about Ace up there because I'm talking to myself. You got to be better today than you was yesterday. So it's the little things that you do every day that even if it's just a small improvement, should be slightly better. So I remember reflecting on another relationship that I had, and I didn't get to see that person so much also. And I remember saying to them, what? Coming like all the weekend and I don't really get to see you. But when that person actually said to me, hey, do you know what it is? Monday to Friday, I go to work 9 to 5. After work, I want to go to the gym. By the time I finish the gym and I get home and I have my shower and, I just want to eat and sleep because I've got to get up and go work in the morning. So if I don't really see you too hard in the week, it's not personal, It's not because I don't check for you. It's just that my routine, weekends are more flexible. Now, just that little bit of dialogue and that understanding, it changed the whole way around. So even if I see you once a week, it feels like quality time because there's an understanding of, okay, it's not that you don't want to spend bare time with me. It's just that this is what time permits. So it's when it's about understanding each other's love language, and communicating that effectively, that the person understands that it's not me. Because everybody's like, you start thinking, what to this person? You know,
Mhm.
what me have a man? You understand? Like, do you understand? All
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
little thoughts can start creeping into your head. So it all boils down to communication, and understanding
absolutely.
the other person. Sis, I think number 5 is knocking on the door, isn't it?
It is. Number 5, here we go. Physical touch.
Woo!
Right? It's physical touch. Are you, is your love language physical touch? Do you like to be touched? You know, just a little touch. Now, when I'm talking about touch, guys, I don't want you to get overly excited and think it's a touch up, feely, butter man, breasts and all of them thing there, touching up your man. It's not like that, right? It is physical touch where you hold hands, the hugging, the kissing, you know, little peck on the cheek. You know, it don't have to be a full on blown, you know, because sometimes when you talk about physical touch, people automatically go from 0 to 100, where 100, if we're looking at it, 100 is the whole sexual um intercourse thing. No, we're not talking about that. We are talking about the language of love. And so it's, you know, like sometimes when you're talking to someone and they just put their hand on your knee just gently, and then they take their hand off. They're touchy feely people. Some people are really like that. And I was having a conversation with someone, and they were saying that they were in their conversation with their child. It was with their child. Their child is now older, and they were like talking about the love languages. This is recent. And the child was saying, I didn't like the way when I was growing up, I didn't like the way that you used to like hold me and kiss me on my cheek, or pat me on my bum like this as I'm passing, hello darling, like this, and the parent, the older person, was quite taken back because they didn't realize that was not that their child didn't actually like that, because the touching is not their love language. It's the parent's love language, because the parent is very huggy, come on, give mommy a kiss and blah blah blah, and holding on and all of that stuff. The child actually said, I don't like that. I don't like that. That's not my love language. My love language is gifts. That's so you can see, and this is between parent and child. So this conversation that we're having, I want to let you know how important it is for us to start to understand how we perceive love. Yeah, and it's love in general, as well as in relationship as partnership, relationship as father and son, relationship daughter, mother, however you want to mix it up. So physical touch is the expression of love to a lot of people. So I am, I can use an example of being in a relationship, and it's not that I am not a touchy feely person, because I do like it, but in its time. And so this was my example, giving you an example, and I'm sure some people will be able to relate to this. So in a relationship that I've had before, the person, would like to touch and hug me and just want to just hold on to me. But I'm like this, I'm on my laptop and I'm doing my stuff and I'm working, and I'm saying to the person, hold on now, wait no man, do you know what I mean, let me just do what I'm doing. And that person felt like I was rejecting them, because that's they wanted to, their love language was to touch me, but that's not how I respond to, that's not my love language. That's my love language really. I've got, to me it's two, it's not one. Special. So mine is more like quality time and acts of service. Those are the two main things for me, I think. So for him, he felt that I was rejecting him because I was constantly like, I've got this to do. But if he had maybe approached me with, can I help you do what you're doing? You hear what I'm saying? Can I help you do what you're doing? Then that would have opened the door to the touchy feely. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I
Absolutely.
hope that helps somebody.
Definitely. Today, what I want to try and do is keep the comments. I want to read the comments in timing, so they're actually in flow with what we're talking about at that time. So just backtracking. Firstly, good morning, Carol. Good morning to you, my darling. 3 in a row, you scored the hat trick. Good morning to James as well. Big up yourself. The Queen never left you out for Marley. She now left out the brothers them. So big up yourself. She says, James says, real talk and love. On our previous chat about quality time, Miss MIB, she says that we have date nights as and when, so they're not regular, they're not planned. But you know, and it's nothing extravagant, just little mild things like what we were saying, holding hands, etc. It doesn't have to be the big gestures; it's just that affection. Sometimes quality time is random. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Oh, touchy feely. There's a comment about touchy feely, but I want to put my 2 pence worth in first. So,
Okay.
Physical contact. Now, a lot of the stuff we talk about when me and yourself talk about love languages, this is not just restricted to relationships. The language, you can broaden this into all different environments. In fact, you can broaden it to anybody any human being that you communicate with. It's understanding their love language. You understand, sister? Even since me and you have been conversating, I'm sitting there working out what's your love language. Do you understand what I'm saying? So but by you sharing stories about being at the computer and working, it tells me little things about how you like to be communicated with. But I want to take the physical contact into another arena. And I'm going to show you how it has the same impact in a completely different area. It's got talk for the last 2 decades. I've been a personal trainer and I've been a boxing coach. I've owned my own boxing club. Now, my boxing club was very niche, where I trained a lot of women. So I had packed classes full of women. Now, I am in this environment, not in, say, relationship, but in my gym environment, I'm very huggy. I'm a huggy person. Let me make it clear. I'm not touchy-feely when I'm training my clients. I don't like those types of trainers. I've got a big problem with trainers that when they're training their clients, they're touching and adjusting their client. You should be able to verbally adjust your client. I don't like trainers that are hands-on. But one thing I would do is every time my members came through the gym, she'd go, "Oh, hi, big hug." Listen, "Oh, hi, how you doing? Good evening." Hug. 9 out of 10 women responded, "Ah," but you had some that said,
"Yeah."
Just, "Hi, how are you?" And they were just language again. Language. They weren't touchy people. So for them, that could feel quite intrusive.
Yes. Absolutely.
But for somebody that is a huggy person like me, it's warm. It's warm. Oh, hi. Do you get what I'm saying? So once again, understanding people's language, it can be rippled into so many different environments. And I'm going to give you another one just quickly, because it kind of rolls into the whole personal training environment. Not only was I very physical, very huggy, and I realized that not everybody like that, but affirmations. I'm very complimentary. I'm very complimentary, and I would always be very positive in terms of my compliments towards others. Not sleazy, but very complimentary and thank you, and very always boosting people's morals, raising people's self-esteem, always giving them very, very complimentary. And once again, 9 out of women love compliments. Women like compliments. To be told nice things about yourself. But sometimes, again, I've noticed not everybody takes compliments well. Now, in terms of my language, that was my love language in regards to showing my warmth and my affection to my members. Like, "Oh no, you look great," and why look. But for some people, some people don't take compliments well. So even though you're talking in a love language that is just genuine from a place of, I just want to make you raise your self-esteem. I just want to say something to make you feel, put a smile on your face. That could be interpreted in another way. So Just throwing that into the mixing pot there. What's your thoughts, sister?
My thoughts on this, you know, what you're saying, you've hit the nail on the head, in terms of the explanation, even with the broader cycle of life and where it is and what we're doing and the people that we meet. I mean, there are it for me, it depends on who the person is and what the occasion is. I mean, when you're talking about with your boxing club, I was actually imagining in my mind what that would be like, it would feel like for a person to walk through the door. And I think if I was just coming in to your gym, for instance, and I'd never been in there before, and you greeted me with a hug, I think I would probably be one of those people like that. Like, okay, because I would find that uncomfortable because I wouldn't have known you like that. But once I've been there once and I've had a little conversation, the next time I come, they say, "Oh, hi, hug." Yeah, I could do that. So I think, guys, you know, in all of these languages that we are seeing, you know, we have to kind of start thinking about how it's going to be perceived, one, and two, when is the appropriate time to show your love language to another person. So if someone knows you, then that's fine. I mean, there are people that I meet. There are the places that I go and I see people and they hug and we're cool. But like with my cousin is a very touchy. She likes that. She's very touchy feely. She likes that. So she's immediately hi, blah 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 to with everybody. But for me, I have to. I'm like, let me just take a step back first. Let me just check who you are. Let me check your spirit if I like you. And if I don't, then I'm very reserved like that. But that's just me. And there are hundreds of thousands of other people who feel like that. So we have to be mindful of how we are being perceived. Moving forward. So
just quickly, just on that note, sis, if I don't, I would just like to add something to just that last point. Firstly, look upon me, right? Me look like me I go hug up stranger. Yeah, me look like the first time I see her, me just go come hug. Ah, no, come on.
No, but you know that some people are like that.
No. I was talking about what I was making reference to is no matter how long a relationship you've had with somebody, and I'm thinking of particular clients right now that I could actually name and it would do no harm. But there's clients of mine that been members 3 years. And even after 3 years, I'm still there's just, it doesn't matter how long or how well you accustom or you have a good relationship, they're just not that way inclined. Does that make sense? I was making more that type of reference. I just want to read out a comment here. Young lady says, my husband is touchy-feely, and I know that that's him. Yeah, I've come to understand him, and over the last 34 years, however it can... Sorry, start again. My husband is touchy-feely, and I know that's him, and I have come to understand him over the last 35 years. However, it can change depending on different circumstances.
So, okay, is that the touchy-feeliness that can change? Dependent on the circumstances.
Yeah, could you elaborate, sis? Is that the touchy feeling that could elaborate on different circumstances? And then Yvonne will comment on that. I'll just read out a few more comments before you move on, Yvonne. Belinda says, interesting, but are we saying then that we should not be our authentic selves then? Yvonne, would you say to that?
Not at all. I think in every situation in your lifetime that being your authentic self is the most important thing. It's tiring. If nothing else, it's tiring when you're pretending to be somebody that you're not. So, we in a relationship, you want to be your authentic self. But what we're talking about is actually understanding the other person's love language, how they need or how they want to be loved. So it's not so much about, it's good for us to know our own love language so that we know how we like to be loved. But it's equally as important that we understand our partner's love language. That way we can communicate at a higher level and a higher vibration. Absolutely not. The faking it, forget that. Don't bother with that, because then the person's going to fall in love with a person that's not real. You have to be, for a relationship to last and have authenticity, you have to be yourself. And let me just say this: I had a friend I've known for probably like 30 years, and she got divorced after 21 years of marriage. And I was like, what? 21 years? You've spent all this time with this person. Why? You know, and I'm good friends with both of them. And she said to me, because she spent the last 20 years being who she thought he wanted her to be.
Oh, brilliant.
And she
Brilliant.
got tired. She was just like,
Brilliant.
I don't want to be in this no more. Do you get me? So don't do it to yourself. 21 years of marriage and now divorced.
Absolutely, absolutely brilliant. Look, I don't think my smile could get any bigger. That is sweet. And I'm not even going to touch on that right now, because if I touch on that 20 years, right, you know, you know what's going to happen. But let me give you some. I'm going to read out a few comments and we're going to tie this up. So, in relation to Belinda's question, she just says you've answered it. In relation to the Miss MIB, who talked about her husband being touchy feely, and it can change depending on the circumstance, she's saying yes. Make sense?
Say that again for me, darling.
So I'll read the comment
I
now.
missed it.
So, my husband is touchy feely, and I know that's him, and I have come to understand him over the past 34 years. However, it can change depending on the circumstance. And you previously asked a question in relation to the environment, and she's just replied and says yes.
Okay, so yeah, there are some people, the environment. So yeah, so there are some people hear this, that like to be touched, but don't like to be touched in certain environments. Is this where she's going? So is this what she's saying? So you got to get to know your partner, because trust me, I don't mind a little feel up, right? I'm just going to tell you, you know, I like to play little games and stuff here. That's just me, right?
Yeah.
But let me tell you this: when we're out certain places, don't be doing that. There's a time and there is a place for everything under the sun, and so you have to know when. So your husband or your husband's touchy feely, so he knows when to touch you, when he wants to touch you, and he knows the right times to touch you. And sometimes if you're not the touchy feely person and your partner is, and they're touching you, then that's where conversation comes and say, babes, you know I love you touching me. You know me, like you're feeling me up, make me feel nice, but not everywhere. You're not everywhere, darling, because it's not appropriate. So, you know, he might want to touch up your bottom when you're pushing the shopping trolley, and you might think that's all right. But then you might go to dinner at your parents' house and he's up behind you rubbing your bottom, and you're like, nah, that's not the right time. Depends on how you feel. So that's something that you work out between you. But the good thing about this is that you recognize your husband's love language. That is the most powerful thing, is that you know it, you recognize it, and you've accepted it, and you're in your marriage for 30 odd years. And kudos to you. And I'm giving you a round of applause, because we don't see that a lot these days.
Yeah,
Marriages are not lasting. So thank you so much, and keep doing what you're doing, because it's working. It's working.
Definitely. The last comment from the sister there says, if he's going through a stressful time, he would be more doing acts of service. And Lani just comments on the previous conversation we was having in regards to, he said, if you are not used to compliments, it will be alien to the person and it might be received negatively.
Yeah, because again, this is like words of affirmation. Again, if they're complimenting you, women, let me just address the women for a minute, because many a time we get compliments. Do you think so? You look really nice in that dress. Do you think so? This thing, oh, I only got it from Primark. Stop it. And that's just a general thing. That doesn't even have to be from a partner. Affirmations. Most women, a lot of women find it really difficult to accept the compliment. But you know what? Once you start to understand who you are and what you're worth, you can take the compliment and say thank you. Even if it feels uncomfortable, just say thank you. Learn, and that for me is a reflection of how you're feeling about yourself. That's self-worth right there. So I hear the comment, make you feel uncomfortable, and it does make a lot. There are lots of people who do not like words of affirmation. That's not their love language. But if it's your love language and it's not your partner's, and they feel uncomfortable, you have to understand that you will have to adapt the way in which you show your love. And that's what we're talking about. So it's I want us to focus and think, right, this is my language, but the most important thing is I need to know what my partner's love language is. That's what I need to know to make this work, and vice versa. Because if you're giving your partner what they need and they're giving you what you need, then everything is well and adjusted. See how this is? Look at the hand. Everything is together, everything is good. But if your love language is this and their love language is that, and you're not understanding, all you're going to get is this, isn't it? The knocking of heads. There's not going to be that togetherness, because you're not feeding each other. You're starving each other of
Brilliant.
what you need. Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's how we want to be. Feeding, not starving.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So, Ace Got Talk. I'm the winner of the World Motivational Speaker Competition 2019. And Yvonne Michelle, international inspirational motivational speaker, female empowerer. This is what happens when masculine and feminine energies harmonize. Ace Got Talk, MediaNet TV. London town to the world. You've been an absolutely amazing, amazing, amazing audience. Thank you for all your comments. Thank you for your participation. I'll get you in there, sis. Don't worry. Thanks for that. Give me a sec. Thanks for your participation. She's been, hold on. We still got one more point. We got number 6. We got number 6.
I thought you'd forgotten.
Not forget nothing. But this has been a part 3 trilogy. It started on Wednesday, and the energy is just rolled on. We've done part 1 Wednesday, part 2 Thursday, part 3 Friday, and I did say we are going to end it today regardless. Part 3, it's a wrap, and then we're going to do that. We've got 8 minutes left. But you guys want to hear number 6, right? You want to hear how the story ends, because we've gone through love languages, but there is one more. You're gonna have to join us in a fortnight's time on our live TV. Me and the sister Michelle, Ace Got Talk, World Motivational Speaker Competition winner and international motivational speaker. We're gonna launch a new show, MediaNet TV. And what we will do is we will start our debut show on love languages, and we'll hit you with number 6. So that will just tie this together. In the meantime, guys, if you could share all 3 episodes, please share it on your Facebook. Share on your YouTube. Share with your friends. Share with your sisters. Tell the sisters to tell the sisters. And in 2 weeks' time, we're going to come back with brand new debut show. It's going to be a continual show, live, MediaNet TV, in the studio once a week, and we're going to do relationship. We're going to open up the can of worms, and we're going to just go through all the topics. And like I said previously, if there's any topics you want us to discuss, if there's any areas of relationship you want us to spark an open conversation on, drop us an email, MediaNet TV. The email address will be in the comments below shortly. If you drop us an email, write to MediaNet TV, say just attention of Ace Got Talk, put to the topic you want us to talk about, we will cover it. Michelle, over to you, my darling.
Yeah, so I just want, so what you're saying is the 6th one, they have to wait for that. That's what you're saying, isn't it?
I'm saying it's up to you if you want to tell them the title or if you want to keep it in suspense. Yeah, we have to wait for that, but and that will just tie everything together.
I'm not gonna say the 6th one, because but what I am gonna say is this, is that there is, even there's 6, but there is for me there is actually 7 for me, and so it would be good to actually bring that back again.
We will.
I'm
We
not
will.
even going to drop it today.
We
I'm not
will.
dropping it, because the thing is, I think this is a conversation that we need to have, especially amongst our people. We need to have this. Relationships are falling apart. We know that we are in this predicament of time, and people are isolating together. They are, and relationships are under pressure. So some relationships are under pressure, some are thriving. So we want to help those that are under pressure, and then we also want to help those that are thriving to thrive a little bit more. So yeah, I'm in agreement with you to leave the other two, because I mean, I know that the person who wrote about the love languages, he started off with 5, then he's created another one to make it 6. But I have one to make it number 7, because all of this what we've talked about in the 7th one, it doesn't cover it. And I think it's really, really important, because there are people who need this in their relation. It's their language. It is. And so if you want to find out what that is, and there's going to be hundreds of thousands of you like, yes, 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 this is true. You join us in 2 weeks' time for our new show.
Brilliant.
And all will be revealed.
Can I just add to that, sister, that it's not just people that are in relationships, because
that's true.
Myself and yourself are both single, and I would say that just going through the love languages with you over the last few days has helped me understand women better. And how the different women communicate, because I've always said, they say man is from Mars, women are from Venus, and we know that, but how do we? This is actually marrying those two alien planets together. Like, oh, there's a language we can both speak. I'm from Mars, you're from Venus, but oh, is that your language? So I think that this is very powerful, and it's very helpful for also single people in terms of moving on and finding the next relationship, and actually starting to understand women in a different way, and men in a different way, men and women. Even me just opening up and sharing how I communicate, there might be women out there that are seeing traits in me and their partners and thinking, oh, that's what he meant when he was spending time. He's not being needy. That's the way he. Do you understand what I'm saying? So yeah, all that and more to come. We've got 2 minutes left, sister. Do you want to just give us a 60-second summary?
60-second summary. So, love language number 1. What was that? That was words of affirmation. Yeah. Words of affirmation. Number 2 was gifts. Like, you like to receive gifts. The 3rd one is acts of service. It's a biggie. Even for parents and children. Pick up after yourself. Many couples, why does he have to leave his socks in the middle of the room? Just pick up the socks. Because when you leave your socks on the floor, that's telling her that you don't love her. You don't appreciate her. Number 4, quality time, where you're spending time with each other, and you just want to be with each other for that time, and it's quality, the quality of time. And the 5th one was physical touch. That touchy-feely, I want to put my arms around my baby. I want to hold your hand. I want to touch you. I want to kiss your hand. Those kinds of things. We've got 2 more, but you're going to find out those 2 more when we start our new show in 2 weeks' time. So those are the 5, right? Those are the 5. And if you want to find out more, make sure that you are following Media Net Live TV. Ace Ford, me, myself, Yvonne Michelle. You can find me on all social media outlets, Yvonne Michelle with 1 L. And if you want to contact me, need any more information, my email is info@yvonnemichelle.com.
Thank you very much, sister. God bless you. So, guys, God bless you. Stay blessed. And we'll see you in 2 weeks' time. We're going to be launching our brand new relationship show, and we'll open up the show with the dialogue on love languages, and we're going to give you 6, and if we've got time, possibly 7. Until then, stay blessed. Salute. relationship